Salam Allah. Peace, 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 family. Peace to the gods and earth. Shalom, Hotep. Peace to the streets. I'm your brother in the struggle, Brother Minister Ali. And today I would like to build just on a subject that, it stems from my disappointment and seeing opportunities where our people really, the people that I respect, they had the opportunity to really help, wake our people up, but they slipped down that spooky pole. It's real hard to just deal with reality sometimes for people. And it's like we often get into this dogma, where we want to debate and argue and mentally masturbate over who knows more about a particular subject or who can elaborate more efficiently on some subject, or who knows something that somebody else don't know about something. And it's like, come on with this the spooky stuff. Down Elijah Muhammad teaches us that history is not a science. And when it comes to using mathematics, you have to have a mythology when you're dealing with reality or you're dealing with mathematics. Those that are ministers, imams, reverends, what have you, scholars, if you will, including historians. When it comes to the spiritual sciences or so-called religions, we get into the epistemology or the theory of knowledge. And a lot of people think that branch of information is a scientific branch. Knowledge of self is not a science. You can't confuse things that we believe and things that we call from the historical record as though it's scientific facts. We're like, oh, this was written 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago, therefore it's a fact. This was written, so it has to be true. Just because something is written, it's like, if you're an author, like before I was 25 years old, I wrote over 25 books. So writing something don't mean you know what you're talking about. A child can make a coloring book. If something is written, that don't make it reality. You gotta still be analytical in your studies. You have to keep that keen sense of reality. You have to stay focused. Like, okay, if it's a black Santa Claus or a white Santa Claus, you can't be like, oh, it's not, Santa Claus wasn't white, he was black. It's like your black Santa Claus is just as fake as this way. It might be your black Santa Claus may have a little more factual information with it, but it's still got a lot of mythology with it. Whether you got a Jesus coming back from the dead, or you got an ancient Kemetic Osiris getting chopped up 14, 16 pieces and he's being resurrected. It's all mythology. That don't mean that it's spooky. It's the way the people back then shared information. They wasn't like CNN, and they didn't go to journalist schools and had structured journalist classes and understood the laws of journalism and understood yellow journalism and things of that nature. That thing was like, we didn't have cell phones and texts and YouTube and Instagram, so we got to tell stories, and we liberally add on and leave out stuff. That's what we do. And when we write that stuff, if you take it hook, line, and sinker, you're getting spooky. Whether it's the gospel, the Quran, the Torah, whatever. So we're going to build on that in a minute. Assalamu alaikum. Peace, God, Goddess. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. But know that your nature is peace. And in the divine sayings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said that he does not seek peace. He is peace. Peace is the nature of the original people. In our lessons, we're taught that peace is a universal greeting. We're going to show you the real lessons. So you got all these grafted lessons. I mean, you know, we did the elaborations 40 years ago. Gave you the Hebrew, the Aramaic, the mathematics, the formulas, the whole nine back in 1984. Now, I mean, we did that intentionally before 1985 because 1985 is when the angels of Allah were sparked. Now, I mean, but we wanted to intentionally make sure that you could not make no unnecessary excuses and say that nobody told you the truth. Nobody told you the facts. Nobody told you the reality. We gave you the elaboration of the 99 actual facts. We gave you the elaboration of Lost Found Muslim lesson number 1, the elaboration of Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2. We gave you the elaboration of English lesson number C1, the student enrollment, the fruit lesson. We even gave you the Arabic lesson. We gave you the fruit lesson in Arabic. We gave you al-kamar, not a fruit. We was just citing it in Arabic 40 years ago. Know what I mean? So you cannot make, we gave you General Hannibal's decree showing that the general orders is not from Masfar Muhammad. The general orders is not from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The general orders is used by the United States of America, by Hannibal, by the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, militaries all over the planet Earth. Know what I mean? So you cannot, in this day and time, hide behind your spookism, your superstition, your ignorance. Know what I mean? It's so much technology out there today. Know what I mean? In the future, we're going to share with you some real scientific and interesting realities. Things that you think just came about just 50 or 100 years ago. We're going to show you like, no, those things, just as they're taught today, was taught thousands, millions, billions, trillions of years ago. All praises due to Allah, the black man of Asia, who is not a spook nor a spirit. So the real peace, according to Messenger Elijah Muhammad, and see, a lot of people got all these partial lessons, grafted lessons, half lessons. We did the math. I remember we actually took all of the lessons of the Nation of Islam and actually put them in a mathematical algorithm in a computer. You know what I mean? And those of you that know C+ language, understand binary code, zeros and ones. Those of you that remember the earlier computers, the earlier Windows and stuff like that there, back in the day, like I'm just using this hypothetically. Say you put Lost Found Muslim lesson number 1 into the mathematical system. It'll actually show you if you have a comma, if it's supposed to be a semicolon. It'll actually tell you how many words is in Lost Found Muslim lesson number 1. How many words is in Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2. Now, I mean, it'll actually calculate it with that type of mathematical precision. And I remember I used to, because my thing was like, we're not changing the lessons. Now, I mean, I was adamant about that. Now, I mean, that was a dominant idea amongst the Supreme Angels when we took counsel. I was like, we're not changing any of the lessons. But at the same time, we're not going to let ignorance, spookism, superstition, or any of that technology creep into these lessons. Now, I mean, and for me as a minister, and I was a minister in 1984, the major mathematical blunder was the miscalculation of Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2, February 20th, 1934. I give you the days and all that kind of stuff. Short version. If you study the different branches of the Nation of Islam, even branches of 5% that studied 120, you'll find a dominant lie, the dominant recessive grafted technology is that in Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2, in fact, let me turn to it. I'm gonna physically turn to this for a minute. Hold up for 1 second, fam. Let me show it to you, because I've been bumping heads with brothers and sisters and agent provocateurs for like almost 40 years on this stuff. Know what I mean? But one thing they can't do is show you in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that they correct. They say they correct. They ignore me. Trust me, they definitely going to ignore me, because they know that you get this here, you're going to be like, whoa, what the heck is y'all talking about? What is y'all teaching? This is the raw teachings, the war teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Now, I mean, the lost found Nation of Islam in a mathematical way from back in the 1930s. Let's look at that Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2. This is February the 20th, 1934. Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2. This lesson is answered very near correct, and all students should read it and study it until he or she can recite it by heart. Now notice the duality of the student, the talib. In Arabic, talib means student. It's not just for the black man. It says he or she can recite it by heart, by Prophet W.D. Fard. Okay? First term examination assignment of Mr. Elijah Muhammad. The following questions must be answered by, since this is my lessons, Alifullah, Brother Alifullah. Number 1, who made the Holy Quran or Bible? How long ago? Will you tell us, not I, not me, will you tell us, why does Islam renew her, not his, not masculine, not the God-man, not him, but the feminine principle, her? Why does Islam renew her history every 25,000 years? Answer. The Holy Quran or Bible is made by the original people, who is Allah, the supreme being or black man of Asia. The Quran will expire in the year 9,980 years from the date of this writing. Now, I was not planning on doing this, but I have to stop right there, family, because the 10% COINTELPRO got so much technology in these teachings. They grafting stuff up so much. It's like they'll graft you right out of reality. And then, 100 or 1,000 years ago, people be scratching their heads trying to understand, is something mythology. What was the original teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad? Today we like, what was Jesus's real teachings? What was Musa or Moses' real teachings? What was David's or Noah's real teachings? If they was physically here today, they'd tell you, we never in our life taught this spooky pseudoscience mysticism that you see running around the world by billions of Muslims and Christians and Catholics in this day and time. All of that is tricknology. They changed our teachings. And that's what's happening with the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. If you, not me, not the ministers, you private soldiers, you FOIs, you MGTs, if you do not preserve and maintain and then put in practice and enforce message to the black man in America, how to eat to live, the fall of America, the basics, not no fancies. I'm not even talking no high science. I'm talking the fundamentals. I'm talking about names. I'm talking about the lessons. I'm talking about the basic teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, I just read something to you. I want to show it to you because COINTELPRO, listen to the number I'm giving y'all. Listen to the math I'm going to give y'all. 98%. 98%. You go to this branch of the Nation of Islam. You go to this branch of the Nation of Islam. You go to this branch of the Nation of Islam. You go to these gods. You go to this branch of the Nation of Islam. And you get that Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2. And you read it for yourself. It's not going to say this. It is not, I don't care. They got some pretty they got the joints with the beautiful covers, different colors, you name it. It's inaccurate than a mug. Now, I mean, those that publish it don't even know the lessons. I ain't talking about elaborations. They don't even know the lessons. Now, I mean, I'm talking about Lost Found Miles lesson number 1, Lost Found Miles lesson number 2, 99 actual fact, freestyles. Now, I mean, 99 actual facts, 230 continuous 640 quadrillion miles circumference of our universe. Written out would be 238,640, 15 ciphers miles. But memory, we know this. You see what I'm saying? Now, I mean, 76 trillion miles is dying of our universe. Also, when stuns rays reaching, we word for word telling you what Master Muhammad said. They can't do that. Lost Found Miles lesson number 1. Lost Found Miles lesson number 2. Who made the Holy Quran of Bible? How long ago? Will you tell us what's this? This is elementary stuff. The elaborations was done 40 years ago by the angels of Allah. But these pseudoscientists want you to think their ego is so huge. That super egos is allowing them to allow hadiths to replace the original pure Quran or the original pure teachings of the first, last, and only messenger of Allah. So, I'm going to give you, and my thing is, once you reject the messenger, my thing is like, hasta la vista. I could care less. I'm not going to waste my time with you. I mean, I'm going to show and prove. I'm not going to show and tell it to you. Now, look at the math. Look at the numbers. Now, those of you that read the elaboration of Allah's lessons that I wrote in 1984, January 1984. This is, 2022. I wrote that over 38 years ago. All right? I give you the math. I show you the math. I mean, I calculate that stuff to show it to you right and exact. Now, I mean, but you don't want to take and use Islam because Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. It says the Quran will expire in the year 9,980 years from the date of this writing. Now, what is this writing? I mean, why did the messenger say this writing? Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. And this lesson, Lost Found Miles lesson number 2, is also known as the 1 of 40 amongst the nation of gods and earths. Okay. You see the date. February the 20th, 1934. February 20th, 1934. All right. Now, this is the extremely important, but globally ignored math. I'm talking about FOIs and MDTs don't realize this in Europe, Australia, Nebraska, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, New York, California, wherever you may be. Look at 98. Now, keep in mind, it could be 70. I'm telling you the exact number. Calculated is 98% of these lessons is wrong. All right. The Quran will expire in the year 25,000. Now, those of you that know the 25,000 year cycle, mathematically, you may know it like in your head. Like you could break the 25,000 year cycle down in your head, 50,000 year cycle in your head, 66 trillion years, 72 trillion years the stars, 78 trillion years the sun, 114 trillion years the very first motion of the first atom of creation. You can go there if you want, just for fun. That's elementary stuff for some FOIs and MGTs. All right. So you know that here it says 9,900, 9,900, 9,900. Now the 900, COINTELPRO took out of that lesson. Now, that 900 is missing by 98% of your lessons. Get your beautiful books, your professionally typesetted stuff, your beautiful colors, whatever way, and look at it. You're like, 9,080 years. It don't say 9,900. Oh, Ali must be wrong. I got to be right. My ego tells me, look at me. I got beautiful, all these numbers, all these beautiful FYMGT uniforms, MGT uniforms. We got beautiful buildings and beautiful newspapers and magazines and so much money, and we're in charge. We know what we're talking about. It's the careful observance of duty, family. Know what I mean? Now let's look at what the messenger has to say. Let's look at what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has to say, and our Savior has arrived. His last tome, his last holy book, 1974. Let's look at this. February 26, 1974. This was a Savior's Day gift by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All right. Now, remember, that crazy guy they tell you to ignore, Brother Minister Ali talking about 9,900 in his lessons. These are supreme angel lessons, not me. Oh, and by the way, let me see something here. In these lessons, we got the original 12 jewels, which was also in Muhammad Speaks and other places. We did the math. We did the research, family. We got that 12 point. We got the supreme alphabets. Oh, the supreme alphabets came from the Father, this, that, and the other. Down the line, I'm gonna show y'all the name, the ancient meta name of the supreme alphabets in supreme mathematics. 7 is God. Thousands of years ago. Thousands. Think about that, man. Now, I mean, what do the open hand mean? The G, the God. All of that has nothing to do with Elijah Muhammad, Father-in-law, the Sun God. This stuff was taught thousands of years ago. Ecclesiastes in your Bible. There's nothing new under the light of the sun, God. Know what I mean? So we're going to share some stuff with you, and it's going to shock some people, offend some people, but you got to understand, we're saying we recognize, respect, and love the messenger, father-in-law. Everybody had to play that role. Good, bad, evil, whatever. All of that comes into the prophecy. All of that is done by the 24 scientists. But I just want to share with y'all this one important, simple jewel right here. Lost Found Miles lesson number 2. Number 1. It says 9,980 years. 9,980 years back in February 20th, 1934. Now, I got the elaborations. I wrote the elaboration all. I know that stuff in my head, but I'm not even going to get into all that because it'll be confusing. I want to simplify. The simple thing is, this lesson says 9,900. Your lessons don't say 9,900. Why? This lesson says 9,980 years from the date of this writing. 9,980 years from the date of this writing is the exact calculation for February the 20th, 1930. I even give you the actual day, not just the date. I give you the physical day. Know what I mean? Now, let's look at what the Lamb had to say about this 9,900. Now, I didn't got with different ministers, brothers, 5%ers, whatever. Know what I mean? I've been on debates, built in ciphers, whatever, and I done heard every unmathematical justification and pseudoscience you can imagine. But Islam is mathematics, and mathematics is Islam. 9,980 years from the date of this writing being February 20th, 1934. Those lessons that took out the 900, those lessons that erroneously don't have the 900, instead of correcting it, they come up with all this spooky. I literally heard brothers breaking down to me in detail how the reason the 900 is not in the lessons is because 9 represents born, and when the mother is pregnant with the baby is not born, it's hidden for 9 months. So in Lost Found Miles lesson number 2, Master Muhammad took the 900 years out because that knowledge was hidden until it was to be birthed into the... It's like pseudoscience. Like, what is you talking? The teachers, the message said, leave my teachings as it is. Now, I mean, so I don't want Ace Money to teach. I don't want to be, because I'd be like, leave the fucking teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad alone. Spooky ass shit. What's the fuck wrong with y'all? Know what I mean? I don't want to go there. But The 24 scientists, the Holy Quran tells you, because people are always like, why you be using profanity? You're supposed to be a minister. I'm not coming at you as no minister. I'm not coming as no holy roly. Nah, I'm coming with one simple thing, to teach you the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of yourself. Know what I mean? Plain and simple. Now, I can defend and justify my moves and all that stuff, but I ain't got time to waste like that, as we going to see. Know what I mean? But the entertain the gainsayers, the naysayers, and the COINTELPRO agents, and I mean, is the messenger teaches that. Well, I'm gonna take you straight from the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran teaches us Allah don't want us to use profanity in the public. He don't want us using hurt, unseemly speech. However, the Holy Quran says, if you are suffering injustice, you can cuss these jokers out. I mean, the Holy Quran says you can use some profanity. Now, here it is, Lost Found Miles lesson number 2, 9,900. Them grafted lessons took it out. I take you straight to Messenger Elijah Muhammad himself. This is not Ali. This is Al Sayers Arab. Let me give you the page. Page number 12, 1974. This title, chapter 5, titled The Time, originally published in 1958. We did the research. Let's look at what the messenger have to say about that calculation. Now, this is 1958. Look at that, family. He said, and I'm going to quote him. The original, let me start from the top. This date, he give you he elaborating on Lost Found Miles lesson number 2. He, the messenger, not the messenger, the first messenger, the last messenger, the only messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, out of his own mouth, out of his own pen, out of his own publications, personally said and teaches us who follow his original divine and direct teachings that calculation supposed to have 900 with it. The messenger of Allah used the 900 with the 9,000. Now, if I change that, the math is going to be completely off. And why is that important? Because we're talking about the Holy Quran or Bibles made by the original people who is Allah. If they could get you to miscalculate on being the black man being God, everything else is going to fall apart like that. All the teachers, when they finish, Masfar Muhammad will have blonde hair and blue eyes. Baba G will be some supreme angel set up in temples. It'll just be extreme confusion when they finish grafting these teachings up. But the angels of Allah is not going to let that nonsense happen. So here I'm showing and proving that the Holy Quran or Bible is made by the original people who is Allah, the supreme being or black man of Asia. The Quran will expire in the year 25,000. Exactly 9,980 years from the date and time of February 20th, 1934, in 1934 in Chicago, Illinois, USA. Know what I mean? Now, let's look at what the Lamb had to say. This date is taken from the beginning of, this is Al Sayers Arab. Look it up yourself. Last book of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Chapter 5, titled The Time. See, we see with time sight. I mean, we physically see only that which is in motion. We can't see, most of us, can't see that which is not in motion. We can't calculate the past. We can't calculate the future because the way we're thinking spooky. So we can't tune in. We can't vibrate on the plane of the Supreme Allah God who came in person, Masfar Muhammad, to whom our praises due forever. But some of us can. All right. This date is taken from the beginning of the present cycle of world history writings by 24 black scientists, of which only 23 actually do the writing. And the 24th one acts as judge of the writings of the other 23. This takes place once every 25,000 years. In this history is written everything that will come to pass for the next 25,000 years. The original, not the grafted spooky stuff, not the pseudo stuff, the original scriptures of the Bible and Holy Quran, not your present Bible. The Bible is the Quran. The Quran is the Bible. They're just a script or degrees or portions of our ancestors' writings about our culture. Now, you know, you read your Bible, Matthew, Mark, Luke. It's only the book of Mark, for real, for real. I mean, all the other stuff is just grafted up. You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand Constantine and all them. That was like, imagine Donald Trump holding the Bible up upside down. That's how Constantine and them came in, using the spiritual science for politics, for war, for finances. I mean, to save their behind. I mean, it's like you got to understand, ignore the devil's technology. Now, I mean, you know, they spooked everything up. Now, I mean, now, the original scriptures of the Bible and the Holy Quran were taken from it and revealed by word of mouth and inspiration to prophets. That's what the scriptures teach. How can something be revealed by word of mouth and inspiration to prophets? We're going to get into that. That's why I told you history is not a science. We're going to get into the science of epistemology. Now, I mean, we're going to get into well, we can't go too deep into it, but we're going to show you how a hypothesis is just your imagination, using your mind's eye to mathematically project what is mental to the physical. All right. So the original scriptures of the Bible and the Holy Quran were taken from it and revealed by word of mouth and inspiration to prophets. Master Muhammad can tune in on you, family. He can make us, not me, not you, but we and us think the way he wants us to think to bring his will and aim to purpose. Think about that for a moment here. All right. The messenger goes on to say, and I quote, we are now this is chapter 5 of the chapter titled Time, and Now Says Arrived, which was originally published in 1958. It was typed up in excerpts of it. It's put inside this book in February 26, 1974. I'm telling you how it happened. I'm telling you the dates. I'm giving you the math. Know what I mean? Okay. We are now in the 16,000th year of the cycle and have, here you go, listen carefully, and have 9,900. There you go, family. There you go. Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2 says, the original, not these grafted lessons that's out here today. And I'm saying 98% of the Nation of Islam is using grafted lessons. 98% of FOIs that recite Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2 is reciting it wrong. They're saying 9,080 years. And if you take them to task, if you was to actually do the math, it does not add up, because it's not the teachings of Master Muhammad. It is not the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The real one says 9,980 years as of February 20th, 1934. The messenger confirms it himself in his letter. This is the messenger in the beginning of the Nation of Islam. This is February 20th, 1934. In the beginning, he's using 9,900. When Master Muhammad asked him, his brain was like 9,980 years from the date of this writing. February, meaning as of the day, God, you know what I mean? Mathematics don't lie. In his last book, Our Savior's Arrived. Now, this is an old raggedy book here, but let me turn to the beginning of this joint so you can see it. Our Savior's Arrived, February 24th, 1934. All right? Chapter 5, titled The Time, page number 12. The messenger himself says, in green, 9,900. 9,900. 9,956 years to be finished before the next cycle. Why is he saying 56 in 1974? Because this was originally written in 1958. they put it in the book form, like Message to the Black Man. He didn't write, Message to the Black Man was published in 1965. When you read The Making of the Devil and Who is That Mission, all those articles is in Pittsburgh Couriers, and he wrote that stuff years beforehand. That excerpts from tapes and stuff like that, Muhammad Speaks, whatever. But they put it in the book form. They take his lectures and put it in the Fall of America. His Supreme Secretary, John Ali, he tell you, I like to thank my secretary, my personal secretary, John Ali, my son, Herbert, and all of them. They the ones that took my articles. They edited, proofreading, and they compiled this. So don't let them future spooky pseudoscience, don't let the 10% take you out of your reality. Now, we just showed and proved Lost Found Miles in lesson number 2. The original lessons says 9,900. What did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say? Page 12, Al says arrived. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says 9,900. Now, I want you to stop for a minute. Get your Lost Found Miles in lesson number 2. And what do it say? It does not say 9,900. It is not the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You have been deceived. Can the devil fool a Muslim? Not nowadays. Should the devil be fooling the Muslims? Not nowadays. Can the devil fool a Muslim? They fool us each and every goddamn day. COINTELPRO is tricking. They taking us. The nation is getting so spooky. It's getting ridiculous. It's like we have to go back to basics. And when I say basics, I mean like the regular Message to the Black Man, the Supreme Wisdom, book 1 and 2, your lessons. Get back into the old Muhammad. Get the old Muhammad Speaks. You can get them online nowadays. Get the old tapes of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Listen to the old theology of time. Read the original words and the nuances that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave to us. Now, the messenger teaches us this on page 108 of Al Says Arrived about these angels. This is part, I believe, 3, the understanding about the angels of Allah. All right, let us go into Al Says Arrived, page number. Let me give you the beginning. See, COINTELPRO got our people so spooked up. They'll make you think that the good guys are the bad guys, and that the bad guys are the good guys. They'll make you think that the gods are really the devils and the devils are really the gods. You'll be worshiping Satan thinking that you're worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You'll be following the 10% rich slave makers of the poor thinking they 5% poor righteous teachers. Because we don't have the shiny stuff. We don't have the pump and glitter. We don't want it. I definitely know how to do that. I just can't bow down to Baal. I can't bow down to Nebuchadnezzar. I can't bow down to that mystery God. Nah. You could throw me in the furnace. You feed me to the lions. You put me in the furnace, put me in the old penitentiary, slander me, stab me, shoot me. It's like, fam, my life, my death, my sacrifices is all for the supreme Allah who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad and his first, last, and only messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because I know in my mind's eye, I'm talking my heart, that our future generations is going to be, thank you, Bella. We appreciate, we got it from here. And Satan going to be like, damn. That them fucking angels came. This is the messenger teachings on page 108. All right, this is what he says in Al Says Arrived about the duty of the angels of Allah who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. He says, quote, but the law of God will not let any, first let me read something before that. So therefore the world of the white race is filled with confusion, and they do not know what to do with themselves. They have confused the black man. They have confused the black man to the extent that the black man does not know now whether he should go for himself or remain seeking guidance from the devil. Our people just like, y'all done grafted the teachers up so much. We like, should we integrate, segregate, separate? Should we believe the Honorable Elijah Muhammad coming back? Should we believe he's dead? Should we worship this minister or that minister? Should we bow to a picture? Is our salvation in trying to get some money, reparations? Is it what? It's like, because we have left the foundation. We have left the 12-point program. We have left what the Muslims want and believe, the basics. We got to go back to the basics. That's why I salute the ministers like Brother Minister Wasim Muhammad, out Camden. I remember being blessed to visit his temple over there. Beautiful temple, beautiful believers over there. They don't have all the fancy, shiny stuff. See, that's how you know they got the truth. But the thing that he had up, was the Messengers program. And I'll never forget it. We went over there, me and some other angels, and, he asked us to introduce ourselves, and we all stood up. My name, Brother Minister so-and-so Allah. My name, Brother Alif Allah. My name is Brother Khalil Allah. My name is Lukman Allah. My name is Rashida. Even the youngest child, but my name is Anu Allah. And it's like, yes, sir. And we wasn't trying to show off or boast. What we was doing was showing our love and our support for the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and recognizing, respecting any branch of the Nation of Islam that's teaching the messenger's message in this age of mess. We wouldn't care if you're with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Salis Muhammad, if you're a 5% of the nation of God's and earth, if you got the ANP, the red, black, and green, black power, if you're a revolutionary, if you're in the belly of the beast, whatever. If you're striving for freedom, justice, and equality, you are our brother and sister in the struggle. It gets greater later, family. So we just have to be patient. Like the prophecy, Jesus and the disciples was walking, and the disciples, they seen this funeral, and they was like, Master, they having the funeral. Let's go over there to the funeral. What did Jesus say? Nah, let the dead bury the dead. Let the living live with the living. It's a science to Master Fard Muhammad's thinking, family. It's a science to his mythology. It's a science to his method. It's a science to his sunnah, to his way. We can't go by what we physically see and hear traveling 1,120 feet per second. What we physically see traveling 186,000 miles per second. That's not sufficient. We have to be still and wait upon the Lord. It's a science. We don't wait upon no mystery God. If we move and act contrary to the mathematical will of the Supreme Allah who came to person of Master Fard Muhammad, to my praises forever, we're going to fail. And we're going to keep failing. We're going to keep losing. We're going to keep dying. We're going to keep being confused. We're going to keep being divided. We're going to keep being full of hatred. We're going to be full of everything except what Master Fard Muhammad intended for us. So the messenger says, but the Lord, this is page 108 of Our Says Arrived, but the Lord God will not let any of us be blind today to the truth. This is why he came himself, to be sure that there will not be any mistake made. Allah God makes for himself a messenger. Then the Lord God guides the messenger himself. He does not leave the messenger to do all of the guiding. Now, these pseudo-scientists, these spooky believers is going, oh, the messenger, he did everything. It's just the honorable. Spooky. That's not even practical. That's not even mathematics. The messenger said this. Then the Lord God guides the messenger himself. He does not leave the messenger to do all of the guiding. Then Allah God sends angels, not me, not you, we and us. He sends angels, plural, FOIs and MGTs, brothers and sisters that may not even know each other, never met each other, but they vibrating on the same plane. They love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They love Master Fard Muhammad. They keep Allah and his messenger out front. Think about that. Then the Lord God guides the messenger himself. He does not leave the messenger to do all of the guiding. Then the Lord God sends angels. to see that his guidance is carried out like he taught the messenger to do. All praises are due to Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. So, let us turn our attentions to the theology of time, 1972. Okay. Now, this is July 9th, 1972. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad speaking about these 7 angels in the Nation of Islam. The messenger teaches us it's 7 of them. Allah says, not the messenger, Master Muhammad. The messenger said it's 7 angels. But this is what Master Muhammad taught him about these 7 angels. It's 7 of them. Allah says that the job is not enough for 1, but 7 of them will be ordered to do it. And think over it. These are not spooks. They are men. Last of all, the last one you're going to see come with these raw teachings. Last of all is that dreadful angel. That's the one they hate. I mean, the hateration one. Last of all is that dreadful angel, which places 1 foot on land and 1 on sea. That's the Bible, Revelation chapter 10, verse 2. That's the dreadful one. That's the 7th one. The book says, and the law affirmed it. The book says it's in a prophecy by the 24 scientists, but Master Fard Muhammad personally confirmed to the Honorable Elijah, yeah, this is true right here. Listen up. The book says, and the law affirmed it. He lift up his right hand and his left hand to heaven. This is the way Muslims pray. They lift up their hands and they pray like that. Both hands. He says in his words, time as we know it now will soon know no more. He then cuts a shortest into gravity and sets the nation on fire. This cutting a shortest means cutting the shortest into the atom of the gravity of earth and make the atom over the earth explode. When they explode, they set all the atmosphere into a flame of fire, and there is no people that can live on the earth because it will be in a flame of fire. This is the way the heavens and the earth will be displayed. As the judgment of the Bible teaches you, the flame will only go up 12 miles high. But it will most certainly get you who are on the earth if you don't get with the law. Our people have never been taught about Allah. They've been taught of God. Well, in fact, that's one of the attributes of Allah, God. And Allah is God, and he has 99 of such names. Each one means something of himself and of his power and wisdom. Don't sleep. This is what the book said happened with the 5 wise wives and the 5 foolish. The foolish went to sleep, and judgment was called before they could wake up. I'm going to read from y'all a Friday Jumu'ah excerpt from years ago that I did on this number 12. I'm from Temple number 12. I am Temple number 12. You are Temple number 12. The Messenger teaches us in his first book, The Supreme Wisdom, 1957, that the 12 only symbolizes the foundation. At the root is the 144,000. Now, in the spooky churches, they teach you the 144,000, they the only ones going to heaven. The 144,000, the root of which is 12, or the foundation, is just the first fruits redeemed from amongst humanity. After them, once they give you the understanding of yourself, you will be sparked and set into motion to do things that they have no power or control over. You will be able to understand not just the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but yourself. So at this Jumu'ah Friday Football, I took and opened up with a quote from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings regarding the Bible, Revelations chapter 3, verses 7 through 8. And I'm going to read it for you today. And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things saith he that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David, he that openeth and no man shutteth, and shutteth and no man openeth. I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. In the Bible, book of Revelations, prophecy. Revelations, as I have explained in previous lectures, contrary to the spooky stuff you're believing and hearing today, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us in Message to the Black Man that Revelation is not the last book of the Bible, like King James put it, like Constantine and them said it. Genesis is not the first book of the Bible. The first book of the Bible is the book of Revelation. Revelation was not written or given to some St. John divine. It was written by Dr. Yaqub Malik Shabazz on the island of Pelan, Patmos, in the GNC, a 25 square mile volcanic island. So don't waste your time going there looking for no ancient remains of Yaqub. It's all burnt up. It's an extremely volcanic area. But the key, it's like the musical song, I remember the 5%ers, the Digital Planners, they said, we be to rap what key be to lock, because they cool like that. They smooth like that. I mean, and spiritually, it's the same. You are the Ankh. You see that Ankh back there? You see the head? You see the arms? You see the gnome in the middle? That's the 2 feet. An arm, a leg, an arm, and a head. That's a law, 360 degrees. The black man is God. The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet, or God of the universe. So let's look at this angel from 12. This is chapter 11. This is a 24 series book, but this particular chapter is, I believe this is volume 1. I have to double check that, but I believe it's volume 1. We have volume 0 through 24, something like that. But okay, it starts at 0. All right. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. And he gave every temple a number. He named the temple in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, number 12. He called it, quote, the top of the clock. The difference between a clock and a watch is a clock is a timepiece not intended to be carried on the person, and a watch is a portable timepiece carried on the person. Angels often slow their motion so they will not lead the masses. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us there are 12 inches to a ruler because we had 12 major rulers that wrote our nation's history in advance. There are 12 major and 12 minor scientists. Devils stand on squares. Gods build on ciphers. We are not to just stand around. Now, I am not geographical, but I do believe in the science of geography. All of America is hell. And Satan, which is the American government, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, is the cradle of democracy. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the professor, who was a real live historical angel in person, came to Philadelphia to pave a way for our Savior to teach his messenger, who would turn around and teach us the truth. Freedom of religion, speech, the press, and the right to peacefully assemble may not be where it should be, but it allows us to gather here today and spark the truth on the fall of America. When we say Asiatics, we include the continent called Africa. It was called Africa after Leo Africanus. This Leo is not the lion, but the devil himself. We are neither African nor American. They both are the names of our enemies. Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all royal praises are due forever, teaches us that we are Asiatics. In a council with some of our scientists, our Savior revealed in the problem book that the Suez Canal in Cam, or ancient Egypt, as it is now called Egypt, is 99 miles long with a depth of 33 feet and width of 122 feet, was built in 1869. When we say Asiatic, we are not just talking about the world prior to the white race, but also prior to the land being separated, when we were all one. The first mission of the angel in the said verse was to write. Yet this angel only has a little strength or fame. A little strength or fame. This angel don't have a bunch of likes, a bunch of views. It's a little angel. Jesus only had like 36 people that ever heard him. He had 12 disciples, but they try to make you think Jesus had all these people, multitudes. That kind of stuff comes after physical death. The world going to catch it. Billions and billions of people will get it. You know what I mean? But at this level of reality, this is how it go. All right? This does not mean his works were not known. In the 12th verse, we see the angel of Philadelphia does not refer to one person, but several. The fake Jews worship the very foundation or feet of the angels. Notice in Revelation chapter 3, verse 9, the angel has feet. Isaiah saw this some 800 years earlier, according to Isaiah chapter 49, verses 23 to 26. Alasher, or Philadelphia, means brotherly love. Keep in mind, spooks cannot write, but when you accept your own and activate yourself, your door or mind is open and no one can shut it. Angels must be protected to make sure the will of Allah comes to pass. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us the Apostle John did not write the book of Revelation. Dr. Yaqub Shabazz did. According to Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, Yaqub saw temptation that would cover the whole world. Look at the world today. We see sex, drugs, and violence is everywhere. Look at the world today. We see sex, drugs, and violence is everywhere. The crown of the angel, unlike the others, was not given. Read this carefully in your scriptures. The crown of the angel was not given. When Revelation speaks of the churches, God is like, this church is talking some spooky stuff. This church is practicing some spooky stuff. This church is forgetting some spooky stuff. This church is getting spooky. But the angel of Philadelphia, even though you got a little, you're not as fancy as the rest and all that, you're teaching the true teachings. You're keeping it raw. You're keeping it pure. Therefore, I'm going to be with that church of Philadelphia. The crown of the angel, unlike the others, was not given. His crown or understanding had to be secured from men that would try to take it. Look at the scriptures carefully. God is telling this particular angel, listen, you're going to have to protect. They're going to be jealous of that crap. Now, they're going to want to wear that crap. They're going to want to wear your shoes. They're going to try to steal that position. They want that limelight. They want to act like they AA and all that stuff. But you keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to be with you. Everything Satan gonna hit you with all kind of evil, everything. And you're going to have on the armor of God. And that stuff going to hit. And the people going to think that you're going to be consumed by the persecution and hellfire. But you'd be like, I don't even smell the smoke, devil. The black man still God. What? Teach the teachers around Elijah Muhammad. The crown of the angel, unlike the others, was not given. His crown or understanding had to be secured from men who would try to take it, according to verse 11. Yet God himself guided his angel into the new teachings and the new name of God
and the new name of his messenger, and the new name of heaven, according to verse 12. The name Philadelphia has 12 letters, and Pennsylvania has 12 letters. 12 plus 12 equals 24. From self-control and mastery of self, our mind rotates due east. You are law, and you named yourself a law. Assalamu alaikum, family. Shalom. Peace, peace. I'm going to stop right here, and hopefully, inshallah, Sakim, we will pick up tomorrow and cover some more of the angels of Allah who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, the angels in the nation of Islam. Make sure you like and subscribe to help me beat these devils from silencing me and keeping our people blind, deaf, and dumb to the original, raw, life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Remember, only the messenger's message will guide you through this age of mess. Assalamu alaikum.